This video is one among others in a series of videos that are geared to help you get your life in shape by pulling yourself out of the rut. Most of us have an inkling of the kind of potential we have and how, if we had better habits, were less lazy, or cared enough about our performance, we would succeed tremendously. The first video in the series talked about distinguishing the good kind of lazy and the bad kind. Remember the story of Tony the lazy mechanic? Laziness had him procrastinating most of his duties, disappointing his family and friends, and is possibly responsible for the bad back he keeps complaining about. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to stop being lazy, specifically if you believe that you're not strategically lazy. If you'd like to understand the distinction between the two, please check out the previous video on the art of being lazy. For now, let's find out, what do you need to do in order to stop being a truly lazy person? First, stop calling yourself lazy. The reason you clicked on this video and found yourself here is probably because you believe you are a lazy person. This could be because your boss yells at you every day calling you lazy. Your spouse keeps comparing you to the apparently successful neighbor you have, just to prove the point that you are, indeed, lazy. Or it could be your mind calling you lazy over and over because you don't seem as busy as everyone else around you. The first step to stop being lazy is to purge this label from your life by first admitting that you're lazy, and then understanding and believing that it's something that you can get over if you put in the correct measures. For Tony, our lazy mechanic, to stop being lazy, he first needs to admit that his daily habits and routines are concerning. In fact, he needs to admit that he is a lazy person and that it's not doing him any favors. At the same time, he needs to affirm to himself that it's not a permanent situation. It is one that can be changed with just a little willpower and a few steps in the right direction. The mind is a powerful tool, and what we believe we are is what we usually turn out to be. If you keep listening to the people who call you lazy and then reinforce it in your mind that you are, this is what you will portray to the world. Change your mindset. Tell yourself that you're not lazy, that the lanyard that you have hung around yourself, labeling you lazy, is one that you have worn yourself and can just as easily remove it. Number 2, start with a small step. One of the reasons most people become lazy is being overwhelmed by the enormity of the tasks that they deem necessary to do, or those that they have been procrastinating over a period of time. For example, as a student, you may have a myriad of assignments waiting to be done, and a test to study for in just a single weekend. After all, you are the master procrastinator. Blocking out 7 hours during which you will crash the assignments may prove to be counterintuitive and will likely draw you into more laziness. So, what do? Simply start with a single task and work on it as if it's the only thing you have to do. Don't worry about the bigger picture. Just tell yourself that for 30 minutes, you're going to sit down and write the outline of the term paper that's due. Small steps are less overwhelming as compared to looking at tasks and goals as a whole. They also serve as motivation to propel you forward to take even more steps. You know what these small steps add up to? One massive step into success. Forgive the cliche, but it's true that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with only a single step. Number 3, eat the frog. Another easy-to-do way to stop being lazy is by eating the frog, a phrase that was coined by Mark Twain. In the previous video, we discussed how eating the frog was one way through which you can be strategically lazy. This is also another way you can stop being lazy. By completing the tasks you dread doing first thing in the morning, or ones that are likely to consume a lot of time, you're less likely to be lazy as the tasks that follow will seem less overwhelming. Number 3, develop good habits. The mechanic Tony was labeled lazy because of his bad habits. Sitting down all day and doing nothing but watching TV and playing video games, and neglecting his duties as a result. You cannot rid yourself of a habit. Habits are usually programmed into our brain, which is why long after quitting cigarettes, the impulses in the way one smokes hardly change. However, new habits can be layered on top of older ones until they take control of your life. For instance, Tony could decide to develop one new habit that he deems good for him: open up his shop an hour earlier. Therefore, instead of getting there at 9 a.m., he gets there at 8 a.m., sits down at his desk and has a cup of coffee while he goes through the shop's accounts. This one new habit could have a butterfly effect on how his days will go after that, and possibly pave the way for overlayering of the older habits. Therefore, one way to become less lazy is developing one good habit. Trying to change all your old habits will prove unsuccessful. Instead, work on one keystone habit consistently. You'll be surprised at the end result. Number 4, get others to keep you accountable. Most of us appreciate praise and recognition for things that we have worked hard for and excelled at. This is because of the social conditioning of human beings. We do like to feel like we're part of the crowd. It's probably why you've never thought of walking in public naked, or if you have thought about it, you never actualized it. Why not? Well, because you'll probably get admitted into a mental hospital. While constantly seeking approval from people might not be a good thing, it can be useful in your journey to throwing off that code of laziness. You can do this by getting an accountability partner, someone you can be vulnerable with, and who will help you in your journey out of laziness. This partner is someone with whom you share your goals and your progress, and also someone who cheers you on when you've achieved a goal that you set out for yourself. He or she also offers constructive criticism and can show you how to make your habits work for you better than they do. They're also a source of motivation and encouragement should you get demoralized along the way. Number 5. Take out your distractions. Have you ever put into perspective how much time you spend looking down at your phone every day? Or playing that video game you really like? Or watching the reruns for a TV show whose season finale was 2 decades ago? Okay, now think about how much time you lose in transition from legitimate things you were doing to distractions and back. Looking up from an assignment you're typing because your phone chimed. Getting distracted from work in the office because you just heard Steve tell Kyle that the trailer for Lion King is out. Drawing attention away from your girlfriend to get lost in a game that came out of the store. Distractions are other ways through which we become lazy. When you're distracted when you should be getting work done, it becomes difficult to get back to it. In fact, if you're distracted by work that required full involvement, it may become even more difficult to motivate yourself to start again. Haven't you ever said to hell with a major task and procrastinated just to watch the new episodes for a show you're following on Netflix? What is the point here? Get rid of your distractions. They're not doing you any favors, and to be honest, chances are you'll enjoy them better in a time that you have set aside to indulge in them. The next video in this series will be dealing with the issue of distractions. How do you tackle these technological distractions that you aren't seemingly in control of? Number 6. Planning. Benjamin Franklin gifted us with a quote that is relevant to anyone who's looking to stop being lazy. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Sometimes, laziness is born out of an inability to know how to move forward, while at other times, it's born out of too much planning and no execution. Using to-do lists and goal trackers are good ways to get rid of laziness, if you're from the former group of people who do not plan. Planners tell you what to do and when to do it, and the fun part comes at the end of the day, when you sit down and tick off the things in your lists. If you're on the other end of the spectrum, the one where you do a lot of planning but aren't able to actualize any of them, I have 3 cliched words for you. Just do it. Number 7. Just do it. At the core of laziness is an inability to get things started and moving. As a student, you may be similar to my friend Marcy, whose walls and vision board used to be full of lists of things she's supposed to do in order to get to where her vision board says she should be. However, most days she would just chill out in bed, feel guilty for chilling out in bed, then when she convinced herself to sit up, she would just do more planning. After that, she would feel exhilarated. Finally, a way to achieve her true potential. Now that she has a plan for achieving her potential, she can go back to bed and wait for tomorrow to actualize it. If your laziness is born out of too much planning, stop planning. Is there a website you need to check out in order to gain some specific information? Do not write it in your to-do list. Take out your gadget and go to the website right then. Do you have assignments that need getting done? Don't plan how you'll do them. Use the time you would have planned to do the assignment to get started on it. You would be surprised at the results, because for one, there are results. Thanks for watching us today. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and leave your comments or suggestions down below.